Metal Sonic is such a cool character, and after the release of the official Sonic timeline, well, it makes him an even cooler character lore-wise. Let me go ahead and show you what I mean. You see, the thing about Sonic CD is that it's a time travel story. What I mean by a time travel story is that, like, literally Sonic is traveling through time. Obviously, you already knew that, but you know, some people just need clarification. But what this really means is that everything in this game is subject to, one, change, because the future isn't absolute, and two, that everything in this game is way more advanced than Eggman would usually have things, meaning that Metal Sonic may just be on the literal farthest side of technological advancement for Eggman. Maybe Metal Sonic is just the max amount of technology formatted into a single being. A thing that backs up this theory is that, every time Eggman gets the chance, he always brings back Metal Sonic. Whether it be during Sonic Mania or Sonic 4, you have to realize one simple thing. Anytime Eggman gets the chance to get Metal Sonic back, he will take that chance almost immediately, giving Metal Sonic more value to pretty much every other machine he's ever created. Think about it. If you have a valuable asset and you have the ability to get that valuable asset, you're going to go out of your way to get that valuable asset. And instead of rebuilding Mecha Sonic or any of the other robotic doppelgangers he just went out of his way to get Metal Sonic. Whether this fact is on accident or on purpose, you cannot deny that Metal Sonic is very important. Whether it be during the events of Sonic 1 or before the events of Sonic Mania, you cannot deny that the difference in his Sonic CD stuff and all these other things around it is very stark and has a very large contrast. The only reason why Sonic Mania is as advanced as it is for its time is because of the simple fact of, well, he literally has an interdimensional time-traveling object like he does in Sonic CD. It doesn't matter if you're super duper smart if you don't have the technology or the capability of building things on a similar level as you have before. Like, really think about it. Whether it is in Sonic 3 or in Sonic Superstars, nothing is as advanced as Metal Sonic or the Hardboiled Heavies from Sonic Mania or Sonic CD, and that's because he has interdimensional travel and the ability to literally just destroy time itself to make it to where he has infinite time to build things. But for some reason he doesn't use that to go in the future or in the past. I guess he just haven't thought of that yet. While the Death Egg is advanced, the Death Egg is a mobile defense fortress. It's very large, it's very huge, it's very gigantic, and it's very much a hard thing to use in close combat situations. And most of the things that Eggman used in close combat situations were either giant robots, which you can put a lot of power into because they have more storage and more space to put that power into, or they're small things that do simple functions like the usual Batniks. The only thing close to Metal Sonic in Sonic 3 is the Egg Robo, and the Egg Robo isn't very much a good comparison when it comes between Megal's Sonic and the Hardboiled Heavies for the simple, well, the very, very good fact that the Hardboiled Heavies do a lot more functions than the Egg Robos. I mean, I guess you already knew that, but the Egg Robos have very simple functions compared to the Hardboiled Heavies. Why I'm staying in between this relatively small gap is mostly because, like, everything adventure onwards, it's pretty advanced. Like, even though Eggman doesn't really use his robots as the final boss, you can pretty much tell that everything in that game is pretty advanced for the relativity between, the first 4 Sonic games. That's because Eggman is quite literally evolving as the games go on, and you could tell that Eggman's just getting better at creating his machines, especially when you get to things like the Egg Dragoon from Sonic Unleashed and the, well, Time Eater manifestation that he trapped its essence inside of a machine and then just treated that machine like it's the Time Eater because, it literally is, I guess. I don't fucking know. Well, I do know, but fuck. The Phantom Ruby literally breaks everything it touches. Literally think about this for 1 second. No matter what part of the continuity you look at when it comes up, it It's supposed to make realistic illusions that feel real but that aren't actually real, but they do a whole bunch of shit, but they don't actually do anything if you don't believe it does anything. And it's like all this other stuff. So like, for all I know, all the research Eggman is doing into these things don't actually have effect on the world around him, and it's actually just like your manipulation playing games on you, bro. It's like the worst MacGuffin of all time, because all you can do with it is fail. There's not even a single win you could do. Like, all the wins suck. There's not a single win. Everything's a L. There's all L's. Sorry, I had to just get that out of my system, because like, this fucking rock can literally make and break every theory it's a part of. Even if you're not trying to make it break anything, that theory can still be broken by the fact that they don't even describe the Ruby well in Sonic Forces, and in Sonic Mania there is no word. Maybe if they described it well in Sonic Mania, maybe Sonic Forces would have been a little bit better because it would have had something concrete. But it doesn't, because Sonic Mania has no words. Sonic Mania can't have any words because it's a classic Sonic game, and that's why it sucks. It sucks, man. After we get out of the classic era and go into the quite literally biggest thing ever, the biggest gap of all time, which is from Sonic 4 to Sonic Adventure, you can see a very big, stark contrast between the design language and the way Eggman builds his robots. He's building them more for style, but you could tell that these robots can do a lot more things, especially more than the Egg Robos. I cannot beat into people's skulls enough that the Egg Robos are the stepping stone between egg ponds and all this stuff. It's so fucking insane how much you have to like say to convince people that the egg ponds are not like a downgrade from the Egg Robos. It's insane. The lore reasons for why Metal Sonic doesn't have a super form until Sonic Heroes is pretty easy to tell you. It's pretty much because the Master Emerald wasn't around and the Chaos Emeralds weren't there. Obviously, the Chaos Emeralds were completely lost during this time due to the fact that Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 happened in, you know, separate parts of the timeline. At first, we thought it was Sonic 1, 2, 3 CD or Sonic 1, 2 CD Knuckles, but turns out that's not the case. And if it was the case, you know, why wouldn't Sonic have the Chaos Emeralds? You know, it's pretty easy to tell that's not their intention. Alright, let's make this incredibly clear. Maybe I haven't been super specific and I haven't gotten everything out that I wanted to say, but let me go ahead and use these last 2 minutes to go ahead and lay down everything that I think is a smackdown in why Metal Sonic is so important to the Eggman army. Metal Sonic represents the change between the Eggman Empire being a joke and a masterpiece. He represents the change between the modern era and the classic era without actually being the change himself due to how he's used in lore. Whenever Metal Sonic is used, it's usually due to time shenanigans or due to Eggman getting the ability to use something different. Usually Metal Sonic is a one-time use for Eggman. If Eggman can't defeat him, he will then use a new thing that has a stronger implication. This is the reason why during Sonic CD, after Metal Sonic is done, that's the falling action of the story, because Metal Sonic is the final boss. It makes Sonic CD a worse game for it because the final boss is like actually bad, but Metal Sonic represents the height of Eggman's classic era knowledge being formatted into one robot. Now, you may be saying, well, Mecha Sonic is obviously stronger than that because he has a super form. And to that I say, yes, if you have a gem that gives you unlimited power, giving a bad robot unlimited power is obviously going to make it better. But that is besides the point. There is no point to making that point, because as soon as he gets a hold of Metal Sonic during the events of Sonic 4, he upgrades him into being able to use all that other cool stuff. So it doesn't really matter if Mecha Sonic had it first. Metal Sonic is obviously the better robot and was obviously able to be upgraded very easily with all the stuff that Mecha Sonic had. But I think that's all for today. I would like to thank you for liking, subscribing, watching the video, and all that other cool stuff. I'll see you later. Peace.
Choppy, Doc, Grumpy, Bashful, and Tyrone. I never save a black bitch's number in my phone. It's the Mambo King, Xavier Cougat. Call me Mario, nigga, cause I'm wearing my coon hat. Some of my best friends are black. They say I'm fucking racist, 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 racist. Homie, I ain't the one who put your ass on a slave ship, slave ship, slave ship.